so many songs about rainbows and what's on the other side. Rainbows are visions, they're only illusions, and rainbows have nothing to hide. Some may have told, and some choose to believe it, but I know they're wrong. Wait and see. Someday. Here's that gang coming in. Going nowhere's here. And Chimera Yuri. God damn it. I've been saying your name right every time first trying. That time I stumbled. Ugh. At my age, stumbling can lead to a broken hip, so I gotta be careful. Pyromaniac and Andrew, in the halls of madness dwells a mad philosopher, random alien from Mars on Boo, Big Green, Raging Kitty, Big Daddy, Storm Star, Nacho, homosexual Sasuke. Hey, good to have you back again, Sasuke. And Phillips in. All right, actually, it looks like some notifications went out today. That's always something, because it's never a given with our good friend Susan. Because you guys know how much she loves me. I keep trying to think if how old, I gotta look it up. How old is Susan? Is there any chance that somewhere in the long ago I had sex with her and that's why she hates me? I mean, that would be understandable. Hold on, I gotta look that up real quick. How old is Susan Wojcicki? Let's see if it tells on her wiki page if she ever lived anywhere's near me. That could explain everything. Let's see. She's not that much younger than me. She's 53. I'm 60. We're in the same ballpark. Why has everybody got to be fucking younger than me now? She grew up on the she grew up on the Stanford campus. Oh, that explains a lot. That explains a lot. That's why she's a woke warrior. But I did live in, remember, I did live in California. I think that's what it is. I think her and I had sex at one point, and this is why she hates me. But again, if that's the case, at least we can understand that. Hey, AZN, I might just see the Alec Baldwin movie now. Sounds like a blast. For those who don't know, Alec Baldwin was on a movie set with a prop gun, supposed to be a prop gun, and he killed one person and sent another person to the hospital with it. Totally kills. One good shot. Heck yeah. By the way, what's your opinion on Dune? Saw the 84. I don't know much about Dune, AZN. When Dune first came out as a PC game, I played it some. My PC wasn't up to snuff at the time to really run the game well. This is going way back. And I never came back to it. So I haven't seen the movie or anything. So I really can't comment. I don't know much of anything about Dune. Mr. Croissant says, the women stole the show at the Crown Jewel PPV. Oh, I didn't even see that. I forgot that was on. Usually the women's matches in Saudi Arabia get no type of acknowledgement, but everyone was on the edge of their seats for the triple threat. Hey, I tell you, the women in WWE and the women on a larger scale in wrestling are really deservedly kind of taken over. It's not like the old days, the old diva days, where you had a lot of really cute tits and ass and a couple women that could work. All these women will put together a badass match now. Oh, and you guys should be proud of me. I even put up the right framework for the stream today. We got Phillips, our stream boss. We got the chat thing, and I'm on a fucking roll today. Oh, Dune, not Dune. Okay, what opinion on Dune? What is Dune? What are we talking about with Dune? What is Dune? I don't even know. The name's not even familiar to me. Maybe that's why I read it as Doom. Big Green says, so how many lethal mishaps mishaps with prop guns in movies have there been now? Well, that's how Brandon Lee went out, right? Am I remembering right? Is it during I think that was during one of the Crow movie shooting. Shooting. Yeah, I don't know, but it's got to be a significant number of them. Oh, Dune is a movie. See, I'm not even familiar with that one. Code says it's a movie. I don't know it at all. Dune. Which is unusual because I don't get to see a lot of movies anymore. But usually, I know of them because, well, I like pop culture shit. So I completely missed that title altogether. Vin says, don't get a milkshake from McDonald's. They put something called zero foam in it. I got a 4th-degree burn on my foot a few years ago, and they used it to repair burn wounds. Same with Wendy's. Really, well, Wendy's doesn't have shakes, do they? They just have the Frosties. But regardless, I can't get a shake from my McDonald's anyway because we're talking about because the machine's always broke. So you don't have to worry about me. Hell, I don't care if something's going to kill me anyway. Soon, probably a heart attack. But I would drink the shake no matter what was in it if I like it, but I just can't get any because fucking McDonald's is stupid. Yeah, that's what happened with Brandon Lee Wolverine. I thought I was remembering that right. Didn't he even say something really ominous? Oh, wasn't he the one who was wasn't he using the prop gun and actually playing Russian roulette with it? And didn't he say something about, let's see if this one gets me? Because he put the blank cartridges in there. I mean, that's just plain stupid. How can you not know there's still a major concussion from a blank cartridge? That's just dumb. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Till the end of time, says my wife is in the hospital for blood clot in the brain. That's awful. Jesus. I hope everything works out okay for you, pal. I hope it's something that's operable and they can take care of it for her. Stormstar says, the only Baldwin film I saw was Thomas and the Magic Railroad, but the sequel, Thomas and the Magic Prop Guns, sounds like a good watch. Yeah, I'm not an Alec Baldwin fan. I think, and when I say that, I mean even more so than as an actor, just as a person, I think he's a douche. I just wish his douchiness and stupidity hadn't cost some innocent lady her life, though. Hey, Stormstar, he took over the Stream Boss, too. I know that now because I remembered to put it up there. Mr. Croissant says, how does it feel knowing that you're on the same arc every One Piece anime fan is currently on? It's been one hell of a journey. It's amazing to me, Mr. Croissant. It doesn't even seem possible that we've come this far this fast. I remember, guys, those of you who were at the Goosh, when we were having the conversation about whether or not to embark on the One Piece journey. And the reason I was such a proponent of it was, well, not only because I thought One Piece was going to be great, which it is, but I said, it'll be so much fun when we get caught up and then we get to the end of taking a journey like that together. And that was one of the rare occasions where I ended up being really right about something, because that's what's been fun, is the journey. Philip says, yeah, that is how Brandon Lee went out. Haven't heard of someone getting shot with a prop gun since then until now. I don't think I have either, Philip. I know it has happened in the past prior to that, too. In the end of One Last Kill, I got shot with a prop gun. That's the movie I made. Of course, in the movie, I cut my forehead for real to make a real scar. And when we were doing the scene, the climactic scene, my director of photography said, okay, Mr. Realism, let's use a real gun, too. And I completely pussed out. I was a baby that day. Lick says, did you see how Steven Seagal claimed that he was the one who found out about the bullet in the gun, even though he wasn't on set with Brandon? Steven Seagal's a weirdo. I don't have to tell you guys that. He's just a fucking whack job. I never liked his movies. He's got to be one of the worst actors that made it to any level of success in history. He was terrible. Jeez. Exactly. Chrome says there's still gunpowder and blanks. That's what makes the noise. They're less deadly, but it's still a concussive blast. Placed against your skull and leave burn marks and cracked skulls. Yeah, that's what amazes me, Chrome, that people can have that little. And I guess, like in the case of Brandon Lee and stuff too, there should be some sort of onus on the production company itself if you're going to be using blank guns and things of that nature, to at least explain it to people. I mean, the reality is you wouldn't think that was something that you needed to do in real life, you'd think people were smart enough to understand that that's not a good idea, but they obviously are not. Big Daddy says, Curtis, what do you think about the Cowboy Bebop live action on Netflix? I'm pissed the fuck off about it, Daddy, because Chrome is the one who brought me up to speed on it. When they first announced it, I was like, okay, I like Cowboy Bebop. And even though the track record with live action anime is terrible, it's like, I'll give it a shot. I'll keep an open mind. And then Chrome told me Radical Ed isn't in it. Radical Ed is one of my all-time favorite characters in all of anime. If you're going to make Cowboy Bebop without Radical Ed, you can go fuck yourself as far as I'm concerned. I will not watch it. I have no interest in it at all now. It's one of the rare times that something... I try it as much as I love anime. I try and stay at least semi cognizant of the fact that it is, it is fiction, and it's hard to do at times. But this time, I'm just over the edge. I'm just completely pissed off. I am so pissed about them not having Radical Ed, and that all of Netflix can take turns going and fucking themselves, as far as I'm concerned. Chrome says, so Curtis, did you see the trailer to the new Grand Theft Auto Trilogy remaster? Here's some screenshots. Oh, I haven't. Okay, hold on. Let me check the Chrome's link here real quick, guys. The definitive edition comparison shots. All right, that is... Wow. That does look looks a lot better, doesn't it? Okay, that's pretty significant. That's such a great game. We would have had some more Grand Theft Auto 5 on the channel by now, but I cannot get it to fucking run. Guys, I have tried everything, and my computer has the speed. I mean, that would be the obvious solution. It has the speed. It's the same computer that used to run it all the time. I can't figure out what's going on. It runs every other game I want fine, but it cannot run GTA 5 without choppiness. It's driving me crazy because I've been dying to play it again. If I'm going to play it, I want to play it either in a stream or a video so I can share it with you guys. Willie says, you speak of Bebop. You have summoned me. Oh, Willie, I'm just so pissed about them not including Radical Ed in the movie. I just... beyond words. Mr. Shank says, didn't Brandon Lee get shot while making the movie The Crow? I don't know, was it The Crow or was it a follow-up to The Crow, Mr. Shank? I'm not sure. I don't remember for sure. I think I'm not sure. I don't remember if it was something to do with The Crow, but I don't remember if it was the actual movie or if they were making some sort of follow-up to it. Lix says, sillies. Ed, that's a boy's name. Oh, and she's such a great character, Lix. Just a it was The Crow? Okay. I couldn't remember, Lex. I couldn't remember if it was that or if it had been on something on a follow-up. I know it was on something related to The Crow because of how he was dressed and everything. Excuse me. Mr. Croissant says, also now that you're in Wano, do you plan to stop at a certain point to wait it out, or do you plan to catch up entirely? Plan to stop at a certain point, I recommend 9.6. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to get closer to catching up before I figure it out, because I'm not going to watch them one a week for a couple reasons. One, that's harder on my memory. And two, it doesn't work as well, I think, for the day-to-day routine at the Goosh, because then something else that we're watching gets interrupted one day a week as well. So we will let them pile up and either get to the end of an arc or another pivotal point before we pick it up again. But I don't know. I haven't decided where to stop yet. Philip says, you know all the fuss they made about making green trans, you think they'd have jumped at including a girl with a boy's name? Yeah, no shit. Yeah, exactly, Philip. And she, like I say, she's just, I know most of you guys have seen Bebop. She's such a great character. Man, her exit in the anime is one of my all-time favorite scenes. It was just so perfectly Radical Ed. Just very flippant. Not the big hardcore emotion, just goodbye out on the ship. And as she's leaving, the dog catching up with her, and she's like, oh, you want to come along? Well, let's do it. And the last thing you see is Radical Ed and the dog just happily dancing away and her with no idea what's coming next. She's a great character. It was The Crow. Okay. Thanks, Chrome. I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember if it was the actual movie or if they were doing a some sort of, not necessarily a sequel, but follow up to it. Chrome says, I'd personally suggest stopping at the end of Act 2 and Wano. Wano split into defined acts, so it's easy enough to take breaks that way. Yeah, like I said, we'll figure it out as we get closer. Pyromaniac says, we got declared candidates from several parties in my country, yet only 2 decent ones. The other candidates include the son of the dictator, Marcos, and he might have a chance at actually winning. What the hell? What? Oh, man. What goes through people's minds? It's just like, I guess it's hard for me to wrap to, as far as American politics, I don't even have to mention a party or individual specifically. What I can't wrap my brain around is why anybody in this country sees it as a good idea to give more power and more of our money to government. Rather than leaving things in the free market as much as possible and having the government be the overseer of that, I just don't understand. There's nothing the government has ever done to demonstrate that they can adequately run anything of any magnitude. But there's all kinds of people. I mean, some people, I shouldn't say that. Some people I understand because they're hoping that the government will just take care of them so they don't have to do anything. But there's a lot of actual working people out there who feel that way, and I don't get it. Edgar, hey pal. He says, hi Curtis, had a question on how do you stream video games with OBS on PC. I'm having trouble recording gameplay because of HDCP. I'm trying to bypass it. I have used OBS. I use XSplit more often, Edgar. I don't know. I've never really had an issue with it. So because of that, it's hard for me to explain to you what to do to get around your issue, because I haven't had that issue yet. For me, I just open up like I have here. I open up a new, what do they call it, scene, display, whatever, and I have my webcam in the scene, and then you have what is it? This is probably how you're doing it anyway, but I'll explain my process. And then you just go into game capture, add a game capture to your scene, and then you should be able to go into the game capture and select the game that you want, and then just adjust the windows however you want them. I'd love to give you more details, but I haven't had an issue with that yet. So, but you're saying because of HDCP, I'm trying to bypass it. See, I'm not sure what that would be. The only other thing I can suggest is, if you haven't used it before, XSplit's a good program too. Now, XSplit isn't entirely free. You can use it for free, but to get all the benefits of it, you have to pay for it. But to me, it's been worth it. It's not a lot. I think I pay like $25 every 3 months for it, and it's easy for me to say because I can write it all off too. But it's not a ton of money, but it's a really good program as well. And if you're going to do any gaming, browser gaming, Edgar, I think XSplit's way better then, because they've got that great window capture feature that OBS just doesn't have. But I wish I could help you out more. I've just never really had a problem with it to be able to come up with solutions. Merther Oathstone says, I like to go to the playground, bend over sideways, and just stick things in my ass. That's fair. Everybody's got to have hobbies. That's very fair. Vin says, apparently they are making a new Star Wars movie in 2023, directed by the girl who did Wonder Woman. Really? Who's that? That was Gal Gadot, right? I didn't know that. I didn't even know there was another one coming up. Did any of you guys see? I will not be attempting that anytime soon. Star Wars is opening that new Star Wars hotel that is an actual Star Wars experience. It's not like Days at the Park. You go into this hotel, and from the time you're there, I think it's 3 days, 2 nights, you are living in the Star Wars world, and you have a place within the framework of everything that goes on. Have you guys seen the prices on that stuff? I guess for a couple people, it's starting at around $5,100, $5,200. What the fuck? Holy shit. I'm glad I'm not a big Star Wars geek. Mr. Host says, so I watched a new movie called Titan. And let me tell you, if watching a murderous psycho screw and get impregnated by a car sounds like your cup of tea, this movie is for you. Mr. Host, I've been asking exactly for that idea, for that concept from Hollywood. I think I need to check that out. Oh, Chrome says, I'm pretty sure all the future Star Wars films have been canceled. Really? Kathleen Kennedy really messed up that franchise. Oh, I didn't know they'd been canceled. I just hadn't been hearing any buzz about anything. That's why I just thought there weren't any coming up. Wow. Josh says there's a Full Metal Alchemist live action movie that I believe is still on Netflix. Also, yes, Shao Tucker and his daughter and dog are in there. It's just hard to get motivated for any of the live action anime because it's all been so bad. And then, like I say, I was actually Cowboy Bebop, because it does, if you think of that story, it lends itself well to a live action. I was like, yeah, I'm going to try that. And then Chrome came in and let me know that fucking Radical Ed wasn't in it. It's like, there you go. Netflix can fuck up a live adaptation before a single frame is shot. They already screwed it up. Fucking, why? I just need somebody to explain to me why they would do that. Alucard says, asking Hollywood for concepts is like asking China to take a joke about their president. Yeah, Winnie the Pooh. Mr. Shank says, I like both Star Wars and Star Trek. I was never big into those. They were my era, but I was just never a huge sci-fi guy. I mean, I've seen plenty of episodes of both, but it was never anything, I was into the Star Wars movies when the first 3 came out. I can even remember the crush of people just trying to get to a theater to see, I always forget the order, but the third one. I lived in California at the time. Me and my friends ended up driving up to Sacramento to a theater up there to try and see it. And we got in, but we all had to sit separately because the theater was so packed. Mr. Host says the most shocking part is that it actually gets really heartfelt in the second act. Like, I actually shed some tears during it and was not anticipating that whatsoever. I will say, Mr. Host, did you say, I don't know if you said that was an anime or just a movie, though. You said a movie. Because I know anime has done that to me on a number of occasions with situations, characters, plot lines that I never would have imagined could be emotionally hard-hitting. Well, The Going Merry. That was devastating. It was a goddamn boat. It was absolutely brutal. Andu says Ghost in the Shell live action wasn't half bad though. Still haven't seen Ghost in the Shell. You guys used to talk about that to me quite a bit. It hasn't been in conversation as much, but it used to come up a lot. Dragon says, I identify as a car. I am a Trans Am. Dragon, be careful. It's not. The certain people are off limits for jokes. Oh, and wait, I was told though, it's okay to make a joke about trans people if don't punch down. So basically, if you can tell your joke and you can preface it with talking about how stunning and brave all of us are, you can make a comment otherwise, but don't be too mean because there's a high rate of suicide in our community. I just thought I'd pass that along to you because that's what we're learning is the deal. Gimster says, if you want a new movie experience after you get back or after Christmas that's better than Squid Game, from what I've heard about Squid, you'll need to watch Battle Royale, a Japanese movie. Somebody said something to me about that one, Gimster. Is that on Netflix as well? You got me curious now. Was it Battle Royale or Battle Royale? That doesn't matter. I'll find it. But it's funny you said, somebody did mention that name to me. Let me see. I think it's Battle Royale. Yeah, the film. Okay. And it is on... Oh, wow. Just the images I'm seeing from it are pretty intense. Yeah, somebody mentioned that one to me. I might like to watch that. Yeah, just I don't want to read too much up on it because I don't want to ruin it because that sounds like something that I would like. But yeah, that's I'm glad you brought that up, Gimster. I'll have to make a note of that because again, it had been mentioned to me before as being something that I really needed to see. Andrew says, "Love Battle Royale." The second, not so much. Oh, there's a couple of them. Andrew, I didn't know that. Indo says, "Curtis, how do you think the New Orleans Pelicans will do this year?" You know, as guys know me, I'm a sports fan. I don't follow NBA as closely as I do some other sports, but no. Gosh, Indo, what the kid that's their star player, a couple of years out of college. Why can't I think of his name? He is a freaking beast. I don't know that they have the supporting cast yet to make the playoffs, but when you got somebody, he's just an animal. Watching him in college was such a good time. If he can just stay healthy, somebody's got Zion. Thank you guys, Zion. But and Ambu says Zion, but he's hurt. That was going to be my next statement. If he can stay healthy, Jesus Christ, that kid is a freak of nature. So I mean, they've got that. It's just like my Bucks. It's what happened there. I mean, they ended up with a championship last year built around a freak. In our case, a Greek freak. At first, there were not enough supporting pieces. It even happened to Michael Jordan, but they put enough in place with one individual player as a centerpiece to win championships. So I could see the same thing happening there. They're not there yet, and Zion has to be able to, stay on the court. But I love watching him play. There's a lot of great players in every sport, but there are certain guys where you go, oh, goddamn, this is next level. That's Zion Williamson. Philip says, let me put it to you this way, Curtis. Ghost in the Shell would make your brain melt. Really? That actually sounds... Isn't it terrible, Philip, that that's your recommendation to me? That makes me go, yeah, I want that to happen. That was terrible, Shelby. Shelby says, did you see the Tennessee fans going crazy against Ole Miss? Trashy, literally. There's no room for that shit. That's how you want to display yourself to the world? Is as that kind of, as you said, literal garbage? Come on. There's no place for that kind of crap. Wolverine says, Sarah's poster stream when... That's our girl. Oh, love that poster. Love that character. Really, Lick says Ghost in the Shell is very pretty. It has a beautiful art style and animation, but it also makes no sense and the plot doesn't exist. Really, Lick, that's the first I've heard that sentiment about it. Really. Willie says last post. Okay, let me find Willie's last post. Hold on, guys. Ghost in the Shell remake is horrible. Netflix turned Gren from Bebop from a jazz player to a trans stripper. Fuck you, Netflix. Green from... Oh, Jesus Christ. Why... This I don't understand. In entertainment, why is there such a rush now? I mean, like, all these entertainment companies are elbowing one another aside to pander with characters from, pick the group. Whether it's trans people or whatever the case may be. Typically, lately, they're the ones in the news. So, everybody has to have a trans character. But there's such a fight to be woke. I haven't seen yet where being overly woke is profitable. Unless somebody can correct me. Maybe there's been something that was clearly just a case of wokeism making big money. I haven't seen it. But I thought these companies were in business to make money. But maybe not. Maybe it's more about woke points than anything else. I don't know. Andrew says, no, it's not terrible. It's just trippy as hell. Now, which one? Hold on, I got to catch up. Because we were talking about two things here. We're talking about Battle Royale and Ghost in the Shell. Okay, Andrew had said Ghost in the Shell. So Ghost in the Shell. Okay, it's not terrible, just trippy. Yeah, see, and that's what Philip said, too. He said it's a mind melter. And I like, well... As I say, I like stuff like that, but I told you guys over and over, and you guys see it when we watch anime together and stuff. I don't Genre doesn't matter to me. If a story is good, I'll watch it and I'll enjoy it. Andrew says, I'm really hoping Netflix sticks to their guns and doesn't cancel Chappelle. I am cautiously optimistic, Andrew, that that's the case. Just from what the muckety muck from Netflix has been saying, he's spoken in no uncertain terms that we know who Dave is. We know that he can be controversial, but we find him funny. And what I like that he pointed out, more importantly, our audience likes him. His specials do big numbers, and that's what we're here for. I certainly do hope they stick to it. We'll see. Chrome says, because most American entertainment companies are headquartered in California, they're playing to their friends. They all have the same politics and beliefs. I'm better than you mentality. That's true, Chrome. You would in most decisions, at some point, the money becomes the object. And I haven't seen any case of obvious wokeism that resulted in profitability. And yet they keep on doing it. I firmly believe, and by forcing that stuff on the public, they like to think that they're doing the world a favor and bringing acceptance to a marginalized group. I think it's just the opposite. I think because it's so obviously forced, it's just making people resent them. Lex says, the Japanese fans of Ghost in the Shell actually really liked ScarJo. They like her because she's pretty and said she was a good fit. Well, ScarJo is definitely, I'd like to make her a good fit. Chrome says, honestly, the whole Netflix thing shows it's not really a money thing for these people. 1,000 people in Netflix striked over Chappelle not being canceled. They don't care about money, only ideology, right? And did you see Chrome at their little walkout? All the counter protesters. That was funny. I like Dave. Chappelle is funny. It's only jokes. That was good. That was perfect. Luke says it's called Ghost in the Shell because it's about the ghost of a dead snail trying to find his way home. As I read that, Lex, all I could think of was, Gary died? Mr. Croissant says, if you're bald, live in New York, and like Disney, you owe the chat premium tickets, rooms, and travel expenses to and from the Super Bowl. I just so wish someday we could work something out to where we could have some sort of a meetup down there. That would be fun. Well, unless Bob Chapek continues to piss me off at the rate he's been doing, in which case I'd still like to have a meetup. Just maybe we'll move the locale. Colton Philosophy says, also Perfect Blue is great horror anime without being horror. It's great. I don't think I've ever heard of that one, pal. I don't think I've heard that title before. Could be, Philip. Philip says maybe they've got some convoluted way of turning their losses into profit. Maybe or maybe they think, I was going to say, maybe they think it's going to pay dividends down the road, but let's face it, the overly woke crowd is not known to be spenders. They're not known to be people with money. They just aren't. I mean, in general. I don't know. Because a lot of times the overly woke crowd are the ones that, they're basically, a lot of times the overly woke crowd, and you'll see this bears out. Go on Twitter or something, read their bios. They're all the failed authors, failed artists, failed musicians who believe that everybody else should be paying to support them so they can continue to fail at what they consider themselves to be proficient at. Corey's Garden Tractor says, hey Curtis, I saw your post on eating at Cracker Barrel. Yes. And there's a comedian named Tim Hawkins that did a joke about it. You should react to it. About eating at Cracker Barrel. Oh, there's a lot of material to be had in Cracker Barrel. That's for sure. Chrome says, oh yeah, the media called the I Like Dave chant counter protesters shouting profanities at peaceful protesters. The peaceful protesters smashed up their stuff and beat the chanters. I know. It's, uh, someday I'll have to do a live stream for one of those things because I would love to go there. I would. Just to antagonize people, just to troll. And I will say this: I know I'm an old fuck, but I'm an old fuck who has no fucks to give. The best thing that could happen to me would be to have the protesters come after me, because they might take me out, but trust me, I'm going to take a bunch of fucking broken bones with me, and I would enjoy it. You would see no remorse from me whatsoever. Chrome says, by the way, you got some really good luck. Just you're about to start Kaguya-sama, Love is War in a few months. They literally just announced season 3 for spring. Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, what was it? I wrote it down for myself, Chrome, so don't forget. When were we gonna? We're gonna fit Kaguya in after episode 68 of Dragon Ball. I think that's what season at the end of season 2, correct? Yeah. Man, good thing no failed artists ended up committing terrible atrocities or anything. No, good thing that's never happened. Oof. Especially the ones with creepy mustaches. Gimster says, I think this year is going to be worse than last year. 2 years ago, we got 14 feet of snow. I think it's going to be more like the old days. Oh, you think, Gimster? I remember that. I mean, I wasn't up there. I remember it through you. Gimster would come in that winter a couple of years ago, you guys. Whether it was here in the streams or if we were talking in private messages or whatever, Gimster would come in and he's like, every few days he'd be like, dude, we got another fucking foot of snow. It's like, I couldn't even imagine. It was just one after another after another. And I'm not that far away. I'm in upstate New York. But the weather patterns, I read something about it. I don't really understand it. But basically, the airflow throughout the world has changed. Anything aside from global warming or anything, this flow has actually changed. That's why now it used to be up here where I am, up in the Albany region, the Capital District region, we would get horrific snow and you go down to New York City and a lot of times they'd have nothing. That's kind of flip-flop. Sometimes now New York will get blasted and we get next to nothing. And then the funny thing is, if you look at it, it breaks down again. We got that little break from what we used to. I mean, we still get lots of snow, but a break from what we used to get. And then when you go further north up to Gimster, it's insane. Just the massive amounts of precipitation they get up there in the winter. Chrome says, so 39 episodes of Dragon Ball, another perfect timing. Red Ribbon Army was just revealed for the new Dragon Ball film. Oh, really? And you'll finally get to meet them officially in the series. Yeah, that's been interesting to me, Chrome, already. Because what I didn't know, they just introduced that Red character to me. I didn't know the Red Ribbon Army was named after someone. I just thought it had something to do with, obviously, the Red Ribbons. So, yeah, I'm enjoying seeing the OG a lot. I'm really glad you guys voted that in. Luke says, everyone knows that every German artist ever have always had great success and always been amazing, nice people. Tankor says, I am watching this on the toilet. As it should be. As it absolutely should be. Without a doubt. Philip says, about the only Netflix originals I really liked were The Highwaymen. About the man who killed Bonnie and Clyde. Really, that's interesting. The Irishman and Castlevania until the final season. Okay. Netflix original. So you are talking the animated Castlevania. You didn't like season 4, Philip? Am I reading that right? I loved season 4. Now, is there more Castlevania to come? It's funny because, well, have I? Ooh, I haven't posted that yet. That's right. You guys haven't seen it yet. Where are we at the Goose? Because I'm a couple days more ahead than usual because I got to get a bunch in the bank before we go away. Isn't that terrible? What did I post today? Hold on a second, guys. Today was... Here's Dragon Ball, One Piece, and... okay, I only posted 7. There's 3 more I've still got to post of Castlevania because I am done with it. And what amazed me, though, was the end of the season 4. It sets itself up perfectly if there's more to come. And if there isn't, it's a perfect conclusion. But I really liked it. The Red Ribbon arc of Dragon Ball is fun. I'm looking forward to it, Big Green. Now that I finally just met them and everything, I'm really looking forward to it. Here's Jesus Christ. Superstar. He says, take the organs from Chomos and sell them and give the money to the victims? I'm lost. From who exactly? And I don't mean to question your logic. I'm just not understanding. I don't question logic on Jesus. He can, he can give me what warts and boils and shit and stuff. I think. I don't need that. Yeah, Philip. It's funny. Gimster's been telling me again 2 years ago that winter. It just amazed me. It was even worse than the winters we used to get here when I was a kid, and that's saying something. Because now here, if we get a foot of snow in a storm, everybody kind of freaks out. It's like, oh man, when I was a kid, that was commonplace. We got that several times a year. I mean, it wasn't fun, but nobody freaked out about it because it happened so often. Now it's gotten more rare. Big Green says, yeah, the thing about Castlevania, the franchise in general, is that they could just leave it on a cliffhanger, considering in the games Dracula always comes back. Really, Philip? That's interesting. I like that. It's a lot of fun when somebody sees something differently than you did. He says, I just felt that season 4 didn't meet the potential of the previous seasons. Really? I'm surprised. Of course, then too, you got to know your strengths, know your weaknesses. I'm not sometimes as good as others as breaking things down because, and I don't mean this, ironically, I mean it literally, I'm too easy to please. Sometimes I don't look into things as deep as I might, but I really like season 4, especially the way it ended. I just thought it was so cool, Philip. I loved that we had 3 separate and distinct couples, and all 3 of them were so cool to me. Even Dracula and Lisa at the very end there, I loved that when they came back and they're laying on the bed discussing what the next move will be, and that's what I liked about it. If you wanted to pick that series up again, there's a lot of story that could yet be told, and if you never make another episode, it was a perfect ending anyway. And Alucard, and I always forget her name, but his new honey, they were a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun too. And at least this one I don't think is going to, get him on the bed and like try and kill him and shit. And of course, Sypha and Trevor are just brilliant. Gimster says, my granddad said it was worse in his days. He said it was normal in the 60s and 70s to dig out of the house. We've had that happen to us. Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be a bit more like those days. Holy shit, Gimster. Yeah, now, I'm sure not as often as your grandpa had, but that's what it used to be like us, too. That's what I'm talking, exactly, 60s and 70s. We used to get blasted down here. I remember the one Thanksgiving. My little sister was probably 5 or so at the time. And by midday on Thanksgiving, she couldn't come outside and play with me anymore because she actually could not even walk in the snow anymore. It was above her head. And not banks. I mean, just the fallen snow. Nacho says, I missed the Red Ribbon Army. The leader was a Giga Chad and knew his priorities. I like that phrase. I like Giga Chad, Nacho. I'm just getting to know them now in the OG. Again, I met that Red character, and then I had them confused at first because I went from one episode to the other, and I thought Silver was actually Red until, the plot explained that to me. But the thing I like about Silver is something I don't like about Silver. They made his voice actors perfect because he's annoying as fuck. And that character to me is supposed to be. He's supposed to be a douche. And, excuse me, he does his voice so douchey. Zeno says, hello, trying to save money. So here's £2. Well, thanks, Zeno. Thanks, pal. Oh, okay, I didn't catch it. Gotcha. Okay, Jesus Christ says Como, or is it Chomo? Chomo is an ERM for adult kid toucher. Okay, so let me go back and read yours with that knowledge in there. I take the organ. Oh, now I'm with you 100%. Take the organs from Chomos and sell them. Give the money to the victims, 100%. And as far as I'm concerned, you're a kid toucher. Take those organs without anesthesia or anything, then just bleed out, bitch. Yeah, no sympathy. No sympathy for anybody who victimizes kids. Oh, Philip was responding to colon philosophy. Yeah, Monster was good. Monster was so good. Oh, I got the um my Monster T-shirt. I thought it had been lost, but it got pushed to the bottom of the pile in the laundry room, and my wife just brought it back. I was all happy when when I saw it again. It's a great Steiner shirt. Samuel says, "Hey Curtis, quick question: who do you think is going to win the next death battle? I'm so hyped to see it. It's going to be Dio from JoJo versus Alucard from Hellsing. I would obviously, as much as I love Dio and I love JoJo, Alucard is one of my all-time favorite characters, so I'd be rooting for him. But if I watch it, Samuel, I got to watch it on my own because I just watched, and one of the reasons I watched it was I knew this one was coming up. So I was looking around at the Death Battle site, and I saw Macho Man versus Kool-Aid Man. I'm like, oh shit, that's right up my alley. Two heroes to me. So I watched it, recorded it, and immediately the video got blocked by Rooster Teeth. There's so many people online that hate me. Susan hates me. Rooster Teeth hates me. There's all kinds of reactions to death battles. I even have some on the channel. But this one, no more. Fat bald man. I don't know why. Lick says, can't wait for the Symphony of the Night anime. That's Alucard's game, and he's my favorite character in the anime. Oh, Alucard is just such a great character. Both Alucards, as a matter of fact. I mean, Alucard in Hellsing is one of my all-time favorites, and Alucard in Castlevania is a fantastic character, too. Philip says, I actually had no problem with the ending itself, just with some of the stuff in the middle. The stuff with Zampier, for example, I really hated. Also, the whole season felt a little rushed. I could understand that. That I get. Yeah. And Zampier, what the thing with Zampier, I'll give you that, and I hadn't thought of that when you said it. I think because I was so overwhelmed by the ending, I liked it a lot. Zampier was very uneven, and really, when you try and figure out her motivations and stuff, I guess uneven is the best way to put it. There wasn't a lot of cohesiveness in an otherwise really well-written show. So that one I'll give you. I do agree with you on that. And it did feel a little rushed. But I think too, for me anyway, it made up for so much that may have been off in any way, shape, or form, because I love that ending. I really did. Willie says, so SJWs are socialists, failed artists who believe themselves better than everyone else and would wipe out a group of people, Republicans, if they could. Fair description. Absolutely. No says, I want to watch Daddy Curtis on the Goose Run Broke. I'm sorry to hear that, pal. And I wish there was something I could do, but I can't. As I've told everybody, well, we've seen it. We've seen it take effect on me. I got to keep everything behind a paywall just to protect our reactions. As soon as I did anything outside the paywall, boom, our Vimeo account got closed. It's like there's like vultures hanging around right outside of Patreon, just waiting for us to step out of the pay area to come and get us. And that's why they came and got us, because they put pressure on Vimeo to close our account, and Vimeo has no balls. And instead of saying, which Vimeo should have said, no, if you have a problem with that, they have my information. You contact him and you file a copyright claim, a DMCA. But Vimeo is like, oh, okay, we'll just do what you tell us. Oh, Chrome says, yeah, Castlevania is getting a new series after Season 4 ends. It's going to follow another one of the games and the Belmont's descendants. Okay, more to come. Oh, that's cool. Kaiser says, sorry, Damodar reaction gets even more over the top. Good old Koichi with his hot-blooded mecha pilot sideburns. Also, Lich Fritz is awesome. Damodar has been a blast. Well, Kaiser, you guys all know what my favorite things are in life, and it touches on them perfectly. Get it? I phrased that really well. Chrome says, continuing, its story will focus on Richter Belmont, the great, so on and so on, fourth grandson of Sophie and Trevor, or Sifa and Trevor, and Maria Renard during the French Revolution. Oh, cool. When it was first sponsored, I'll try anything because you guys have never steered me wrong, so it's never an issue to try something. But I didn't have high hopes because I wasn't a fan of the game. But god damn, I was just telling my friend Carly, she's also our staff here with Renee, and she's the only anime fan I have in my day-to-day life other than me. And I was telling her, you gotta watch this one. You gotta watch Castlevania. Andrew says, a little rushed, dude? No, just kidding. Haven't watched it. Ganondorf was the good guy? Ganondorf says, so some group of trolls got Christian to write a letter insulting Islam. Oh, Jesus Christ. Knowing full well it's going to get Chris hurt. Really? What the... what? I mean, isn't there something at this point with all that has gone on with Christian and around Christian? Isn't there some way that somebody or some entity can step in and... I mean, the guy obviously needs guidance in his life. I mean, we have people with mental disabilities all the time are watched over by the state, kept in group homes, things like that for their own protection. It seems like he needs it. Gimster says, from what I've heard, both Ruby fandom and Rooster Teeth are going into another level of self-induced implosion. Sad what happened to the good things. I did notice that Rooster Teeth now, they'll come through just recently, and randomly they've started third-party claiming like some of the old oh gosh, I can't think of names right now. Red versus Blue reactions. I got no problem with that. And I knew when I posted that Death Battle one that there's a good chance they would third-party claim it, which is fine. I just want to be able to share the experience with you guys. If they want to take the monetization from it, I don't care. But I was shocked when they just flat out blocked it. Which doesn't make sense to me. Wouldn't it make more sense, I mean, from their point of view, to third-party claim it? Because we've long since established, I don't think anybody believes anything different anymore, that reaction videos don't take views away. It's from the original content. We've seen that proven in the numbers. So why not just third-party claim? I mean, hell, even Toei Animation does that now, third-party claims. I don't understand that logic, but whatever. Jesus Christ has just found out Alec Baldwin shot someone on the set of his new movie. We were just talking about it. And, yeah, another supposed blank gun. Now, there's a rumor, and I want to make this clear. It's just a rumor that one of the prop or stunt unions in a correspondence supposedly said there was accidentally a live round in that gun, but that's just a rumor. I don't have any idea if that's true. Willie says, I like Dio, but Alucard is 99.9999% unkillable. Yeah, I love Alucard. Alucard and Ceres are just probably my favorite specific duo in anime. Particularly because it's not even a romantic relationship. It's master and follower, and they're just so good. So good. Nacho says, I can already see where it's going. They'll intentionally make Alucard vulnerable so Dio can kill him. You think so, Nacho? That would piss me off. That would piss me off anyway. And like I say, hey, Nacho, you're stream boss. Even if I were to watch it, I'll have to just watch it on my own. And it's just, excuse me, especially with stuff like that, I so much enjoy getting to share it with you guys. Chrome says, I'm looking forward to when they finally get to Soma Cruz, Dracula's reincarnation from the 2030s. He's the good Dracula who wears bell-bottoms because for some reason 60s fashion is back. Oh, 60s fashion coming back? That should be a sign of the apocalypse. Oh. See, now, for me in Castlevania, I said it during the reactions, right from season 1, I was like, I know Dracula's the villain, but it's like, no, I get where Dracula's coming from. Well, what those scumbags did to his wife? I get the guy. I get the guy's desire to kill off humanity. I do. So yeah, I completely get it. I'm with you, pal. Philip says, especially when you consider the first arc where they killed Dracula took 12 episodes, 2 seasons, even whereas this took 10. True. That's true. I was surprised, I got to admit, Philip, when we came back to watching it and I saw that both season 3 and 4 were only 10 episodes each. That did surprise me. Chrome says death battles are badly researched, and unless the power gap is well known, they'll intentionally throw it to the fan favorite or whatever will give enough controversy. I wouldn't doubt that goes on, Chrome. Everybody is, well, understandably worried about the clicks. How many eyeballs you're going to get on it. That's true. AKX says, please react to Vinland Saga again. I love Vinland Saga. As a matter of fact, I meant to grab my Torkel t-shirt to wear today. I was thinking about it last night. Stupid shit comes into my mind at night. I was thinking, I haven't worn my Torkel shirt in ages. And then I got up this morning. I forgot all about it. But this is one of my favorites. So, the Ryuk one. Vin says, I'll have to say Castlevania had an amazing ending. Personally, I like how they didn't leave any loose ends. Oh, I agree, Vin. And what really impressed me was, again, and I said it during the reaction, it's a purely, entirely satisfying conclusion that if they wanted to extend the story, easily lends itself to do so. And that's a pretty good balancing act. Wick says, I want a Castlevania game set in the 80s where all the castles are replaced with discos. Stay alive, stay alive. AKX says, you're sorry you reacted to Vinland Saga. That's great. I'm going to watch it. Well, that reaction is at the Goosh. It's at our Patreon. But yes, that was good series. Really good series. I like it for a lot of the same reasons that I'm so enjoying Jormungand. Sometimes it's fun to just get into the I shouldn't say old school because Jormungand is an old school, but the basic, let's get down to it and battle with real weapons, real blood, real stabbings, real shootings. It's just but they're entirely different stories, but I've always put them on the similar plane because of that. Big Green says, literally, the only advantage Dio has against Alucard is that Alucard would probably not be able to see stands since only other stand users can see them. I didn't think about that. Alucard would totally murder Dio. Agreed, Big Green. Agreed. Coach says more of the disco dance, Curtis. Chrome, the Castlevania games are generational, like JoJo's, so it's easy to just end or continue the franchise whenever you want. They usually follow a Belmont, but not always, like Soma or Shinoa. I know. I just had so much fun with that series. I really did, and was so satisfied with the ending. And that's a big deal to me. I love good endings. AKX says, play PUBG. No, I'm not going to play PUBG. I have no interest in PUBG. The Thief says, yo, it's me, Jeremiah, by the way. Oh, okay, pal. What's up, Curtis? Good to see you. I'm glad you're in. Oh, Chrome's got a link. Look at this glorious fashion Dracula. I love him and Shinoa. Castlevania games are great. Okay, hold on. Let me get that link pulled up. Oh, that is fabulous. Soma, wow. Yes, that is wildly fabulous 60s wear. Even could cross over in the 70s a little bit. That could be a Club 54 outfit right there. Excuse me. Takeor says, in the name of equality, instead of a new season of Castlevania, we need a season of Gay-Sylvania or Trans-Sylvania. Get it? Trans-Sylvania so they can be woke. Okay. Yo, that Dracula got drip. Indeed he does, Wix. Indeed he does. Luke says, nice. Luke says, look at that gas coat. Fuck yeah. Willie says, I want a Castlevania game set in 80s San Francisco where you play as Alucard and you need to test someone's blood before you drink. That's twisted. Count Dripula, Big Green says, thank you for the rim shot, Lude. Chrome says, isn't Alucard basically immortal at the end of Hellsing, like Schrodinger's cat makes him basically unkillable? Transylvania, funniest shit I've heard. We got yeah. I need to go out on social media and just so I can get plenty of hate. I should make that observation. let's do it doesn't even have to be Castlevania. Let's just do a great vampire movie where the lead character is trans and he will live in Transylvania. Philip says, thank God most of the movies I like are westerns, mob films, and war movies. Modern woke Hollywood will never remake them. They'd sooner burn them and erase their existence. You got that shit right, Philip. Got that shit right. No concerns there. And if they did remake them, they would remake them in such a way that they would be completely unrecognizable from the original. There's no way they would touch that. Big Green says, oh yeah, if we go with the end of the series, Alucard, he should totally smack the shit out of Dio since he absorbed Schrodinger. Yeah, like Chrome said, I'm sure they'll do some serious gymnastics to make it a seemingly contentious battle, and possibly even to give it to Dio. It'll be interesting to see. Colin Philosophy says, I'm a huge H.P. Lovecraft fan. Everybody talks about adapting the mythos into movies. Honestly, only anime could do it justice. It just, yeah. I've just become such a huge nerd for the way that Japanese writing, I guess. The way that the Japanese people create. I just think it's on another level. All right, guys. Well, I got to pack it in for today. It was Free for All Friday. Of course, it was a great day. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out. As far as going forward, again, I really log jam days just trying to get all the extra stuff done for when we go away. So I can never be sure, but I stream as often as I can because this is my salvation here. I'm hoping today to get time this afternoon because I got some stuff I got to do. I'm hoping to be able to record episode 4 of Squid Game, and then it takes a long time to edit. I'll just have to edit it in pieces as I go and see when I can get that put up. But obviously I will be back streaming as often as absolutely possible. And thank you so much for hanging in here with me on a Friday. This just makes my whole week. I can't tell you. I mentioned this last week. I look so forward to this, and even my wife says it because I get like jacked up for Fridays, and she's like, you do the same thing every single day of the week. Why is Friday different? And I said, because you haven't been there for Free for All Fridays. That's why you don't know it's different. And nobody should ever question whether or not I'm different because we know it's true. I'm special because here it comes. It's Free for All Friday. It's very special. Very special. Sticky stuff today. Pampu, pampu. Sticky stuff for you. Sticky stuff for you. Sticky stuff for you. Sticky stuff for you. And it's special. Because we'll bang, okay? Flashing like buggy. And as always, most importantly, and oh, you bet your ass it's always special. Goosh, 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 goosh. Goosh. That was a good one. I pooped a little. Thanks, Andrew. I'll take that into the bathroom with me. Ooh.